What's in your head?
What's in your
In your head? Zombie. Do you want a bear or moose?
Zombie?
Do you want a bear or a moose? Do you want...
Hello?
Do you want a bear or moose?
Hello? 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 Okay.
Bear or moose? Bear or moose?
Two bears and a moose was sitting on a rocket.
You said bear first.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, it's Benji here.
Philip J. Fry.
And we are here at my apartment starting season 2 of Two Beans.
We're two beans in a room.
Two beans in a pod in a room.
On a pod.
On a pot. We're two beans in a podcast in a room.
On the podcasting couch.
We are casting our podcast. All right, now that we've already devolved,
Tom Hanks and
episode 1.
podcast away.
Wilson. So, season 2, episode 1. Here we are.
We're back.
Still doing it, much to the probably
To the chagrin of our enemies.
yes, they're successful, but hardly.
They're still going despite how not successful.
Nobody likes them. The only ones that laugh at their jokes is themselves. Mm-hmm. No, it's a lot of fun. We're having a lot of fun. It's good to be back. We took a break because I was traveling a lot. You had a lot of things going on. It just made sense to call it. And we really wanted to start doing more things. And we thought, okay, we're kind of... The podcast, we're kind of out of things to talk about. I mean, we're not out of things.
No, but yeah, we have other things we want to do that's not like
podcast
in the podcast format.
Yeah.
Still haven't actually started those, but we're gonna be starting.
No, we've talked about them. We were gonna do one after this, but now we're not. And
it's okay.
Life happens. We're just out here doing our thing, and when it happens,
we're getting
it happens.
back into the swing of
We do
things
have
right
3
now.
movie reviews we've been sitting on.
At some point, you'll get movie reviews that we shot back in January.
So but this is this is another venue. This will be the 3rd one that we've been at. And we're excited. Not enough stuff going around in the background, but I tried to spruce up a little bit.
Yeah, no.
So how about we start this with a celebratory shot?
Yeah. Oh.
Lime, cranberry, limon, or cherry? Limon. I would like to do cranberry.
Yeah, why don't we do cranberry? Cranberry? I hardly knew her.
Is that a cranberry? You just happen to see me.
Cranberry's just a little ball. Are your balls enlarged or are you just happy to see me?
Is that a big boner or are you just happy to see me? Okay. Is it warm? Mm-hmm. Well, how y'all doing?
How you doing?
Ooh, that's not bad. Out of all the shitty alcohol we've had,
it's definitely on the less shitty end.
Yeah, it's still a little bite there at the end, but I mean, it's fucking Smirnoff.
Yeah.
It's fucking Smirnoff. My ma.
Damn it. Yeah, we're like 2 minutes in.
All right, so something to address for the season coming up. Something that I've heard a lot about is why all the mom jokes. And I think before we get into season 2, I feel like we need to address that.
We have something we have to drop
because it's gonna bring It's gonna come back. We're gonna say, "Hey, Ma," like I just did. We're gonna talk about moms because here at Two Beans,
we got nothing else better to say.
yeah, here at Two Beans, we are supportive of moms. Our own moms.
Pro mom
here at Two Beans. I mean, you could basically say that we're catered to moms, really.
Yeah.
We cater moms. We have a truck. We bring them to your party.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so the mom thing is just, well, I don't know. It just kind of devolved. It's something that happened to me where I was just picking up
like I said, I don't remember specifically when and where it started because I almost want to say it first happened in one of our movie reviews that never actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna come back. Yeah. Also, like the "Hey Ma" thing. Hey Ma. Yeah, that started in one of the movie reviews. But I remember like in the whole dating scene for me for a little bit, it was moms in Pennsylvania.
You were just dating some moms.
I don't know. That was talking to them. I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so it just turned into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. A little inside.
Yeah, and then somehow
now the joke's completely ruined. Now that we have context.
Right. Well, yeah, and I realized I like have inadvertently stolen and bastardized a clip from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
That's where I got the "Hey Ma" from.
Yeah. Well,
It's a small obscure reference, and I'm not exactly the same. But here I am thinking I'm like actually funny, but it's just all these Simpson quotes that have been lodged in my brain, and then sometimes they just come out.
Hey Ma,
get off the dang roof. Yeah,
watching television tonight.
Yeah, so that's where that came from.
Yep, just a quick little bit of history for you and how our jokes kind of just evolve.
I just realized this says "busting out."
That's bussin'.
Something is about to bust.
Have you ever like said something that you're too old for? Like I just said bussin', and it's like that's not what I do.
Oh, is that
I don't know. It is. It's on TikTok.
A young kid phrase.
I just said it and was like, ugh, like immediately, like Tim Allen turning into Santa Claus. Yeah, just. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always felt slightly out of touch with the youth culture because even when I was younger, I wasn't as into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially these days, I'm like the hard 30s about to hit, and I'm just
you're 29,
going through it.
Yeah, 28. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about season 2. What are we gonna be doing? I hate to make a lot of promises. Because that's kind of what we did. Season 1 was like, we're going to have all these things, and then we just never got to it.
Yeah.
But we do have a better plan. We're going to do less podcasts.
Excuse me.
I mean, we'll kind of see. We're on 8 to 10. We did 10 last time.
Yeah. We don't know necessarily if we'll do less podcasts than we did before, but they might be spaced out a little bit differently, and make room for some other content.
Yeah, we're going to try and release weekly content, but no promises. We have busy lives. Eventually, I'm going to be traveling again. It's just a way of life, but we're going to try and have as much filmed before I do that. So
we're kind of taking this month right now to kind of just film as much as we can and see where we're at. And kind of reassess from there, and
we've got some.
You'll be watching this in August.
Yep.
Right now it is July.
It is.
Breaking that
July
1st.
Yeah. So yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Well, you'll be seeing more new stuff, and by the time you're watching this right now, there will probably already be we'll have announcements and things going on. So
we're gonna try and
you'll be halfway in the loop already.
Mm-hmm. We're still working out Spotify. We're hopefully at least gonna have stuff on Spotify. We don't know about the release stuff yet.
Yeah,
but we're working on that. The biggest goal right now is to get highlights.
Yeah.
That's probably the most important thing for us right now.
Yeah. Which, if you're watching right now, you hopefully will have already seen some highlights because my goal is to have starting, I think, I'm trying to decide whether I want to do Thursdays or Fridays and make those highlight days.
Yeah,
release a couple episodes at a time.
Yeah.
And
just pull, cut, and
just
paste.
Starting in July. And hopefully, if we can keep up with content and stuff like that, I can have that be a weekly thing. Yeah.
But that will make it easier for you guys to kind of watch our stuff before we get to Spotify, where you can listen to our stuff while you do things. With this, you can just kind of watch little 5-10 minute clips.
Yeah.
You know, and
catch
get
the best Hey Ma bits and then dip
all
out,
the Hey Ma bits
before you're just sitting here watching us talking about nothing.
And if you like what you see, you can watch the full 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah.
If you don't like what you see, you can turn it off and tell us you can do better.
Maybe you should work on that.
Maybe you shouldn't only be relying on Hey Ma jokes.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's fine. We're fine. I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Which segues into the topic of this.
How y'all doing?
Yeah. Which I think the last episode of season 1 was a how you doing, so I love that word. Same episode, new season.
I feel like, though, like at that point, maybe we didn't have as much to talk about. It was just kind of like, I don't know, let's just do it. How y'all doing? But we've had a month or 2 months.
Yeah. And that was also a weird one because we had actually already filmed a how you doing.
Yeah.
We lost that whole episode, or I lost a camera angle or something.
We had to refilm it.
Yeah.
And then I was gone for 2 months in Savannah.
Yeah.
And it released at some point during the first month.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's
sometime in May, I think.
Yeah, we're doing another one because it has been a little bit. We've had a lot happen.
Yeah, it's been a long couple of months.
You know, we need to decompress, get some closure on some things, talk about it, get it out of our heads. Little nice therapy session here.
Out of our heads.
Zombie. Robert
Zombie.
So yeah.
Romby.
And so we're gonna go into during the last 2 months, what have we been up to, where we're at now, and where we're heading. Where are we taking our big old heads at? So yeah, bing bong.
Boo. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Well, let's see here. So, second topic. How the heck are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about how are you, and then what's led up to this.
Okay. Well, I'm overall doing pretty good.
That's good.
Got my up days, my down days.
Yep.
But my up days typically are balancing out way better than my down days.
That's good. That's good.
It's getting better.
It's
Still not the root cause of, but definitely in addition to all the things that have been going on. It's just like this last year has really, I don't know, pushed me outside my comfort zone in a lot of things.
Yeah.
Some that I knew, some that I don't. So just overall, that's a general thing that I'm just kind of processing. Just a lot of kind of existential questions and stuff like that. But doing better and getting better at
That's good.
building new habits and stuff
Always
like that,
good.
And the biggest thing that I've been trying to do out of all of it is to give myself grace so that I can actually make the progress that's needed, because a lot of times when I make a couple steps forward and then I have a slip up somewhere somehow, I tend to go all the way back to zero. So I'm working towards like, okay, if I'm going to take a step back, let's not go all the way back. Let's go a little bit. You know how to get through this. You've coped through this before,
So how did you go about recognizing your things that you want to fix? Was it like a little bit of motivation? Was it just kind of sitting in the mirror and being like, hey man, like, or is it like a kind of something went wrong and you're kind of like, oh crap?
It's kind of been a combination of things. Okay. And I'm really realizing that I'm at the end of probably like a good 5-year long process of just overall change in how I approach life, and just kind of being able to take a lens outside and look in generally and kind of see, oh, hey, like you've been doing this for a while. This doesn't seem like it's like good behavior, or this doesn't seem like this is a good idea or something like that. Yeah. And so there's been a lot of things over the last few years that have been kind of slowly building me up to that. Things that have been breaking me
Yeah.
but like in good ways where like
Yeah.
I realized something that needed to be addressed.
Sometimes,
and I've been working through that, and I
you know.
feel like I'm at the end of that process. I know some of it's just symbolism in my brain because I'm about to turn 30.
Yeah. Sometimes,
But-
like, if you think of it as like a maze and like you take a couple steps forward and you hit a dead end and you almost need to take a couple steps back
Yeah.
to kind of reevaluate which way is the next way.
Which is always a good thing.
As long as you're...
And, you know, I think a lot of people grow up with the assumption that you can't just stop and
Yeah.
regroup. And if you got to take a completely different direction in life and completely just start over one way or the other,
Yeah.
like, you can always do that.
Yeah.
You can, you know, and I think I've had a lot of moments where I've just realized, like, okay, all these assumptions I had about the way life was supposed to be, I've been holding myself up to this standard that doesn't really exist. It's just we humans made things up, and we all just kind of agree to, oh yeah, I guess that'll work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's been a big part of it, is just acknowledging the things that I need to fix.
Yep.
And slowly getting plans for addressing them, and just taking it one step at a time.
What are a couple things that you think you want to fix, like to go into detail, or if you feel comfortable talking about them?
No.
Nothing too major, just a couple of things.
Well, we talked about this a little bit in the last season, is the money thing.
Yeah.
Still got hiccups here and there, but
It's going to happen.
yeah.
You
Overall,
can't detox.
Overall, I feel like I'm building better habits. Have I chipped away at the debt in a way that I wish I could? No.
You can't overextend yourself, because you've
Right.
already overextended yourself, and that's why you have the debt.
Yeah.
So you can't go do it again just to get rid of your debt. Sometimes you have to... It's like, I always think of it as like, there's no quick fix. If there was a quick fix, you probably didn't learn your lesson, and you're going to keep...
That's a big thing, is like, I that's why I get the anxiety, because I'm just like, I just want to fix it now. I don't want to deal with that. And I've learned to, like, tell myself, like, hey, it's okay. Like, you have a roof over your head, you got food in your stomach, you know where you're going to work tomorrow. You know,
Samson,
you're not gonna...
Missy, Jenna,
Yeah,
all of you.
you know, I have a good family, a good home, and I'm also very fortunate that, like, I have a support system. Like, I'm not gonna wind up on the streets tomorrow if something catastrophic happens. So just learning to talk better to myself about those things, because I internalize a lot of negative things that I say about myself, and I've realized that that's been eating away at myself for a long time.
Okay. So right now, confidence, because you're talking about yourself. If you had a scale from 1 to 5, what would your confidence in yourself be? And you know, you can be honest, and you can tell us why if you want. Or
I'd say I'm probably around like a 6 or a 7.
okay, yeah, on a scale of 10.
What did you
I was
say?
like, wow,
What did you say? A scale of 1 to 5?
that's amazing. I hope it's. We can go 10. We can go with 10.
I'm
Tens of-
gonna skid around.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick to the scale of 10, because
Okay.
I feel like I'm
I mean, it's more
a
data
little
point.
past the halfway point. I've had other points in my life where I've been more confident, but it was when I was younger, and I
And now you're
was
in
a
a
little
situation
more
that you're in,
ignorant
right?
about a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
So part of the reason I lost some of my confidence is, like, I was just more aware of things, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I wasn't actually, like, where I thought I was, or I wasn't as good of a person as I thought I was, or I wasn't as cool or whatever, you know. So I feel like overall I'm better now, because, like, I just have more perspective, and it helps me reassess, like, what confidence is, what cool is, like, what taking charge of my life is.
Cool.
You know.
Well, that is awesome.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And what about you? How you doing?
I'm actually at a weird all-time high, but at a very... Just 3 weeks ago, I was at an all-time low.
I don't know any of their songs. Otherwise, I would start.
I was at the concert.
Yeah. Did they do the Remembering Sunday song, right?
I don't know anything about... I don't remember them.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I ever listened to them.
If they did that song, that's a good song.
Hey, guys.
Tell us, did they do that song?
Yeah. So, you know, so I've been traveling for 2 months, which means I'm not home for 2 months. And I live by myself now. So I've always lived since I moved out of my house after I got separated. I've been living by myself. But like getting all that coordinated, all right, like because I live by myself. So as I said now for the 4th time, I have cats. I got the dog. I have, this house just need to be watched. And so getting all that coordinated, getting my finances coordinated, because it's not cheap, and I don't get reimbursed till afterwards. Mm-hmm. So, and making sure all, you got to talk to the, whoever's booking all the stuff. You got to make sure all that stuff's right, your birthday, all that. Everything that's basically you were going to need to take care of in that month needs to be taken care of. And unfortunately, one of my things is rent and taxes, the 2 things. And so rent, they didn't want me to sign it until like that month that it was expired. So then it's like, okay, crap. So they sent it. Luckily, they were really cool. It took a week, but they sent it to me, and then I had trouble with internet, and I got it printed off and signed it and scanned back in, sent back.
Right.
All in Savannah. I had to figure out that. But my taxes was a little tough because the place I used didn't help me with being divorced and filing those taxes. So I had no idea, and so it's like, I put my original AGI for just me, and it was like, so it got rejected. So now I'm late because I had to file like very last second.
Yeah.
And it was a month-long ordeal. I filed my taxes a month late because they kept getting rejected.
Right.
Because of this AGI thing, and then like weird stuff, and like they'd call me and kind of yell at me like, you're late, and you're what are you doing? It's like, well, I'm putting in my AGI. I got the right AGI this time,
right,
but it's still rejecting. Like, well, you need to make sure you're doing it this thing. It's like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I finally figured out I was clicking a button wrong. I was setting it to 0, which is not right.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't technically file last year, my wife did. And so I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, I did not file last year. No, I had to put, like, I just used a different software or something like that.
Oh, okay. Those almost like trick questions.
Yeah. So that was a month. That built up. And so we get back. I'm back for, like, 2 weeks. 2 weeks is just jam-packed, filled with, like, meeting people, meeting with friends, getting the house cleaned. Yeah. Just to go back. And so, and I'm working full time still. Like, I didn't have any breaks. I came back, went right back to work. I think maybe I took a Monday off. And then, like, the next week I took a day or so. But those were jam-packed full of other things. And
right. Don't actually get a chance to, just decompress. And
I have no money because I haven't been reimbursed yet, so I'm kind of broke.
Yeah.
I'm not broke yet. And so, but I'm halfway down on my monies. Yeah. Monies.
The big monies.
Yeah, and so that with the taxes was happening, but we were planning another trip. It was going to be another month. It was basically a week and a couple of days back from Memorial Day, and then another 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So, but we're doing a test that me and the guy that went out there, we'd never done it before, so we were kind of nervous, but we made it through. That test actually went pretty, I wouldn't say smoothly, but we learned a lot, and we got better. So, but it's a lot of outdoor stuff. So when we get there, it's all outdoor stuff. I don't know if you can actually officially see my farmer's stand.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But basically, it was just it's Savannah, so Georgia. Yeah, you're just being baked and steamed at the same time. Yeah. The whole entire time. Just it rain on you, and then you're dry within 5 minutes if you stay outside. And you can see the steam coming from the ground after it rains. Uh-huh. Clouds go over and it just gets more humid, not cooler. Yeah. So and it was just a lot of manual labor, not intensive where it's a lot of lifting, but where you're going out and you're going really fast and you're trying to get these antennas that we're using up off the ground and stuff and down on the ground. And so it was, and then they were talking about it's well, we might extend you guys out for a week. We have more stuff. And then it's another week on top of the month. And it's okay, so now I got to get this coordinated. My finances I didn't get reimbursed until the end of the second week. Or the second to last week. So I basically got reimbursed and had 1 week in Savannah. So I had all these things happening. my glasses broke. Had to buy glasses, and I didn't have any money. I had to get them, figure out a way to get them shipped to me. So all these things happened, and it just built up. And I never really like had time to decompress from them.
Yeah.
And so I think it just built up, and I was seeing somebody, not like I don't know what it, like it was, but
Talking to someone.
yeah, I was talking to somebody, and we were, it was a good time. But I think I was feeling it's kind of weird. I had some issues pop up that I didn't know I had from the divorce and the like that relationship and how it ended. And I didn't know they existed because I haven't been in this. Was the first time I really have been in that situation since then.
Right.
And so it kind of added up to it. And you're so tired at the end of these days because it's like 10, 12-hour days.
Yeah.
And you really just stay in bed. So you're just thinking about everything for like 4 hours until you pass out.
Right.
Yeah. So
especially if you're in a hotel room, it's like there's
and
nothing else you can really go do.
Second week I didn't bring my dog or anything like that, so I'm just like I'm legit by myself, just in bed. The streaming service wasn't working, so I was just watching TNT and playing my Switch every once in a while. So yeah, it was rough, especially with everything, But so I started getting really frustrated, and I took my frustration out on the one thing that I could control. I couldn't control when I was going to get my money. For some reason, I couldn't control when I was going to get my taxes done.
Right.
At the time, I was able to get the glasses fixed. I know I couldn't control if the company that we were down there for was going to extend us out for a week, or they're like, maybe we'll have you go back for a week and then you'll come back for another month.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh God, like, and we were having issues with the test. It went smoothly, but like, we were,
Yeah.
Lessons learned and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I took it out on that person I was seeing. I got really frustrated, and I basically had a mental breakdown, a pretty big one. I went through all my coping skills that I learned in therapy. And I just remember having a panic attack. That's what started it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out and I'm going to eat some food. I'm going to actually go out into the world. I'm not going to DoorDash. I'm going to go out into the world and I'm going to eat. That was my first coping skill. I went and ate Indian food with the guy I was working with. And I get back and I'm like, okay. And then, you sit down and you're like, oh God.
Yeah, it didn't help.
It's all closing in around me. I don't know. And so I got this another panic attack. And that really just started this downward spiral. And I basically just tried different things to like listening to music. Couldn't listen to music. I like to shower. It's you're washing it away.
Mm-hmm.
That I ended up just having a panic attack in the shower. Because I was like, here I am again. I ended up hitting myself a couple times.
Oh man.
Like just arm and head. I was getting so frustrated and basically just kind of lost it. So I called my mom finally. I reached out to a couple of friends, and then they reached out to some more friends. I think you texted me.
Yeah.
My friend Neil reached out to my friend Megan and Maddie B, and they kind of, and then basically I got so worried that I called my mom. And I talked on the phone with my mom. It was like 9:00 at night at their time, so 10:00 my time.
Yeah.
We talk and stuff, and then, I hang up, and I kind of message everybody, like, okay, I talked to my mom. I'm doing okay. Like, I think I just got really worried there.
Yeah.
And so I was able to get to sleep, and I was just, like, in this weird fog for, like, 2 days, where I wasn't eating any food. I didn't talk very much. Just kind of, like, sat and stared.
Yeah.
Go back to the hotel. I wouldn't even turn on the TV. I just laid in bed and listened to music. And so I just kept feeling sorry for myself, and I kept just thinking about all these things. And basically it ended up in another mental breakdown. But like, it's kind of weird. I immediately went for attention on this one when it wasn't anything bad. Like the other one, I waited till the very end because of how I am it's weird how I operate with these things, but like, I I don't like individually reaching out to people.
Yeah.
It actually ends up making it worse for me because I feel guilty
Right.
that they're stopping their lives, and I'm basically more or less just forcing them into this. And they're probably not, but that's how I feel. And so I would rather just reach out on a post in Facebook or on Twitter or on Instagram and see who, then people read and go, oh, I want to help him. I don't know why it's weird.
Yeah, no,
it's
I
weird.
understand. Yeah, especially like when you're in that frame of mind, it's hard to think rationally about those things, and so it's easy to talk yourself out of reaching out to someone.
Yeah, and so, and one of the things I'll get into it when we get into like the future and stuff and what I learned. But that second one, or the second, third day after the big one, and then the second one, I don't think it was really that bad. I think it was just more frustration coming out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I hurt the person I was seeing, at least I believe. I hurt, I reached out again to Megan and Matt, and and I was like, man, it just really wasn't that big of a deal. I think I just was frustrated again. And, so yeah, I mean, the next day I kind of sat around and thought about it, like, okay, what am I going to do? Just kept working.
Yeah.
I was texting my mom back and forth, texting a friend. I was like, I think I need to figure this out on my own. Like, I feel like since I'm going to be on my own, I need to really sit down and think about how I can work through this stuff, like when I have nothing to go and rely on. Eventually, bring that back.
Yeah.
So,
because it's like you don't want to set it up to where like you feel like you only have yourself to rely on.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want to be able to like have some sort of mental safety net to know that like if there isn't someone immediately close by, you have, whatever coping skills you need to, get through it until you can get support.
And it's kind of gotten to this weird thing of like, well, and I kept beating myself up about that. I still do right now. Still working on that. I'm trying, and it's like, you know what? You had a mental breakdown. You had two. One was really bad. One wasn't so bad, but you really kind of like.
And I think, honestly, like, even just, like, the language of things, like, there's such a negative association with, like, the phrase, like, mental breakdown and stuff like that. Whereas, like, what really is just going on is you're obviously, like, overwhelmed because you had all of these problems and things, bubbling to the surface all at one time. While you're not at home, not in a comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's harder to deal with that because I mean I've even had times like just when we're on vacation or something where it's like if I get some sort of trigger in my brain like while we're out, it's way harder for me to come down from those things when I'm not at home than it is. It's just I'm usually halfway decent at hiding when that stuff happens and whatnot, which has its own things with it.
Well, and that's the other thing is like I always just push things down. I don't really address anything. And it is but what I decided, so that day I took a couple days, signed back. I never wanted to leave therapy, but I had to because of travel. So I got signed back up like the week I was coming back. I took 3 days off right after I came back. I started implementing, so I got rid of social media, got rid of like the big ones, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And then eventually it's like, you know what? I'm going to get rid of Messenger and Snapchat as well.
Yeah.
Because I kind of think I have an attention seeking, especially in that time. And so, I think that's not something I need to be relying on. I don't think it's healthy. Yeah. So I got rid of all of them. I'll probably eventually I will come back. But every day I think about like, what am I going to post when I'm back? And that's what makes me feel like I'm not ready.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not.
What's that comeback post?
Yeah, so I feel like I'm not ready yet to come back. So I'm not coming back. I put my phone away for an hour every day, every at the end of the night, like just throw it on the charger, and then after an hour I can go look at it, but really just kind of stay away from it.
Yeah,
that's been nice.
little things like that,
Yeah.
like make a huge difference.
10 minutes of meditation every day.
That's good.
Trying. I'm traveling now, not for work, but for what I used to do when I used to go to concerts and stuff. I'd spend a weekend out
Yeah.
in a little town. First trip is flying out to San Diego
Yeah.
for a night, or for 2 nights, and then I'm back. It's kind of expensive and frivolous, but I have that good overtime money, and so it's like, you know what, I've never seen San Diego. I've always wanted to go.
It's really cool.
So even if it's just for a day where I can just sit on a beach and drink and stuff, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it I'm gonna start traveling by myself.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited. After that, it'll be probably, I think Colorado is what I'm planning.
Yeah. And I think starting with just like the little weekend trips and stuff like that. That way you don't have the commitment of like, well, I booked everything for a whole week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I do have a week off, but I don't have anything planned for it. I finally took a week off. It's going to be into August or something like that. And it's like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do something. I'm going to see whenever I get there. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I need to
just feel it out.
Yeah. Like I need to figure out who I am again, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think I need to be able to handle stuff on my own.
Big mood.
Better. Yeah. And I need to figure out, I need to get detox from social media and attention seeking. I've got some more issues from the separation and the divorce that I didn't think I had, and I think those are I can usually get pretty good, get through those pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
And with any big life event like that, it always just takes some time.
Yeah.
For you to have like the perspective on those kind of things.
Yeah.
Where you're like, oh yeah, that is like something that I either struggled with or I need to address or something like that. Like it's almost impossible to be able to see what all problems lie ahead of you when you're still in or like freshly out of like whatever situation it is.
Yeah.
100%.
So that's why I think, and so I went and saw therapy, and she was like, well, it seems like you took a couple steps back, but in the like while I was going to therapy or before I went to therapy the first time, she's like, it looks like you took really good steps to try and address it and get forward with it.
Yeah.
And so she's like, it might be that you just came full circle and like you've taken extra steps now. Now you're farther ahead. You took 2 steps back, but now you're farther ahead because you took more steps forward. And so that was nice. Like that I put all this planning in to do these things, and I don't need approval. I think I need to get to the point where I don't need approval. Like, because right now I feel like it's nice to have validation and stuff, and I think it helps somebody who doesn't. It's not that I have a lack of confidence. I just don't normally am super proud of myself or anything like that. So.
Yeah, well, and like our brains are wired to be approval seeking because we're social creatures,
and especially with social media.
So we get huge rewards when we think that people around us love what we do and love who we are, and that we feel accepted in it. And anytime that feeling or sensation's a little broken, like I don't think people realize like how big of a impact that can have on just your overall mental status.
Yeah,
that's
a
big thing.
And we're working. I'm working. So that's why I'm at. I think I'm at an all-time high because I feel good. I feel like it was something that I kind of was like, man, something seems missing, and I think the whole thing is just kind of me. I'm missing, and I just need to figure out who I am, figure out what I want, realize that I've got a pretty good life, and stop beating myself up for things that even if it's a mistake, but mistakes they're gonna happen. The trick is to just move forward and learn from them.
Life's long, and you're gonna make tons more mistakes. We all are, and that's part of it. Is just learning to be okay with that and whatnot. So because I had one of those moments of a couple weeks ago where I just kind of looked in the mirror. I'm like, how are you? Who are you? What's your story? And I just haven't really done that in a long time. I feel like, especially over the last few years, as when I graduated college and kind of moved away from friends and that second chapter of life that kind of began when I graduated high school and went to college kind of officially came to an end. And
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big of a change that was and how much, like, just traversing through life I was going to need to do. And so I kind of went on autopilot for a while for some things.
Uh-huh.
And some of it was unintentional, just because it's like when you're unaware of, you know, what's... I'll take a shot too. Of what's going on, you don't know. But at the same time, I also was doing the thing that you do in your 20s where you're processing your life and you're thinking about things. And there were just things that made me uncomfortable. And so I would tend to find... I would either shut them out or I would develop really negative habits for coping with them. Mm-hmm. And that's been...
I mean, that's where my attention seeking is, when I start getting that, like, you're looking yourself in the mirror and you're like, you're not as good as you think you are. And then you feel bad, and then you're like, oh, I need to post about it, because then everybody's going to like it. And you're going to have like 30 likes, and you're like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that sweet, sweet serotonin. Mm-hmm. And I do think you get addicted to that feeling, and then you end up being a shit poster like me. Yeah, and there's more to that. I think there's some other things that I want to kind of keep private and stuff that I'm working through. But so
absolutely.
And for present.
Thanks for sharing all of that.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I made it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I lived through it, and I think as shitty as it was for me to do some of the things that I did, I feel like the fact that this is me weirdly bragging about myself, even though every bone in my body wants to cringe, just like, I'm taking the steps to be better. I'm taking the step, like, a lot of people don't do that, and that's what makes me a good person.
Yeah, if you have to put like a phrase on it or something like that. But I mean, I think that's a big thing that a lot of people either don't have the tools necessary for doing that kind of work on themselves, or they choose to not do it because it's a painful process. Like, I think any person out there who decides to take time to, like, kind of assess their life and do that, I think everyone goes through a really hard time when you're going through that. And just at the same time, like, we're living at a point in history where there's so many more stimuli in the world than our brains have, like, evolved to process. Like, a little over 150 years ago, we didn't have all these things to think about. And now we have...
You weren't sliding into their DMs.
You were writing a letter. And
you were writing a letter on a rock and giving it to her dad and fighting over somebody over there. Yeah,
like, it just... life is...
That wasn't 150 years ago.
Close enough, you know. But, like, I think people really underestimate just how big of a change has happened in recent times. Yeah. And then especially with the internet and social media and all these things that have...
like, if you think about, like, chemical makeups now, people, like, the food and just all the coping, like, all the things that people use to cope, like alcohol, marijuana, everything.
Yeah.
And I'm a marijuana coping person. Yep, that's me. I think it gives you chemical imbalances.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
and I think that has a lot to do with, like, your mood and stuff. Because
the things that you put into your body, the things that you spend time letting your mind absorb. That's been my biggest reason for trying to slowly not spend as much time on, like, the internet and Facebook, is just because, like, I'm not gaining anything from it. Yeah. Like, unless I'm actively, like, posting something, whether it's, like, for me or for the podcast or for the band or something, or if I'm intentionally looking something up. If I'm not, and I don't have something specific that I'm doing, then I'm just scrolling.
Yeah.
And like I don't want to think about how many hours of my life since, you know, I was maybe 16, 17, 18, whenever I was able to finally get on Facebook on my phone.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. I remember 2007 was the first time I got on Facebook.
Yeah.
I haven't fucking not looked at it since.
Yeah, and I mean, even back in the early days of like Facebook and MySpace, for the most part, I still just had to like get up and go to a computer. So there was a limited amount of time that I could do that. Yeah. So, but then once you could get to it on your phone, and your phone just became such a huge part of your life, like it's always there. And I was like, oh shit! Well, like I've probably wasted, you know, a combined total of 3 years of my life of like just doing this. It all adds up, and then, you know, there's a lot of things about like the time I've spent in my 20s that, I mean, I wouldn't go back and change because I'm happy with where I'm at. If I could tell a younger version of myself, or to any young people out there, like, you know, don't.
Those are these old men yakking.
Just think about the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, because there's no shame in it. Like, you know, Facebook's great. Like, it's great for, you know, keeping up with people. Like, there's so many wonderful things that the technology we have now has given us, but it's just comes so fast. We haven't had time to think about, like, what it's doing to us on a mental and physical and physiological level.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So all right. So we've talked about past. We've talked about the present where we're at now. What are your plans for the future, my good friend? Philip J. My
pie.
My pie. Hey, Ma.
Hey, Ma, can you cook me a pie?
Can you bring me my pie?
Can you cook me a pie? Well, we've talked about our 2 beans plans for the future, so that's
2 little
obviously
lima beans in
a
a bed.
I kind of decided, you know, with work and stuff, I'm not actively like trying to pursue like moving up and stuff like that anymore. I'm pretty comfortable with my job and and things like that. Cool. If something cool comes along that is
really toots your boot.
Yeah, but you know, right now, like, it's a pretty low stress situation. Like, I don't take a lot of work stress home with me, which is a big thing.
That is good.
And, you know, I get paid halfway decently. It's like, it sucks that most of my money goes to paying other stuff off. Yeah. But I got to remind myself, it's like, if I wasn't doing that, it would actually be decent money. So at the very least, if, you know, I can get some stuff paid off, you know, I got a decent paycheck. Right? But working to try to get my life organized into a way where I can start devoting more time to both like the music and the podcast production and stuff like that, and kind of just go with the flow and see where that stuff takes me, because I'm definitely way more interested in that. Yeah. And I feel more of like the pull, like, oh, this is a good feeling, keep pursuing this. So that's kind of where I'm at with those kind of things. I've been working on some new songs. That song I recorded for my friend Lee, it's now officially out on Spotify. Go check it out. Lee Bellamy, Ghost Town. Awesome song. We'll be working on a new song hopefully sometime soon, and he wants to do an album and stuff. So that's that. Oh, and of course, Jen and I will be getting married October 7th. We still have planning and stuff to do, but
and you guys are pusher bikers. Yeah. I hope you're not doing that about the wedding.
Oh, we for sure are.
You sure better stop it.
Yeah. We've got a lot of the big things kind of nailed down. And we're getting there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So glad the peer pressure doesn't need to.
Yeah. And just in general, just kind of working on myself. I've been one thing I'm slightly disappointed in myself in, but I'm not beating myself up.
Don't beat yourself up.
So I read a whole book in May, and I was really excited about it. Wow. I was like, wow, this is easy, like especially if it's something that I'm into. Yeah. So I got another book, and I do really love it.
What's the books? What are the books?
So the first book.
Tell us the books.
The first book was Finding God in the Waves. Cool. I got a guy called Mike McCarg.
Mike McGag.
It's a really good book
Hey, Ma,
about this guy who grew up like conservative Baptists and stuff, and then his parents got a divorce, so he was like, "Oh well, I'm gonna find Bible scriptures and like prove to my dad that he can't like get divorced," and like had the realization that it's like, oh, this isn't gonna work. And then he was like, wow, the Bible contradicts itself and stuff, and he went through like a phase where he went like hardcore atheist, like all the way out there. And then without like spoiling the book, but basically like he had what he can only describe as like a mystical experience where like he
have to read the book to figure out what that means.
He has no other way to explain it other than like he has an encounter with what he thinks God was whatever.
Vin Diesel.
And he thought he was like, oh, I just had a stroke. So he was like,
Vin Diesel gave him a stroke.
Anyway, it's a whole journey. It's really cool, and it's one I've been wanting to read for a while because I knew about the book, and I really like the guy. He has his own podcast and stuff.
Yeah, Vin Diesel comes in waves.
He does go in waves. So I read that one. That one was awesome. And then he has a new book out called "You're a Miracle and a Pain in the Ass."
Oh yeah.
And I really like that one too because it's kind of where I've gotten some of my talking points about like the stimuli on the brain and stuff, because it's all about describing why we do the things that we do even though we don't want to do them. But I got burnt out this last month. There's just been a lot of stuff going on because like so my grandma and my uncle passed away like one day apart, beginning of May.
Yeah.
So we had that. I had the funeral and stuff like that. And then like a week later, we went on vacation. And we were gone for a few days. So that kind of disrupted life a little bit. Then when I came back, I got sick. And I had to close at work that whole week. So it was like a double whammy of just shit sandwich. And I was just wore out. And it's felt like it's been a really slow catch up from all of that. Because it's like I'll have a couple days where I'm like, okay, I think I'm finally I'm back to level set. Things are okay. But then either like, I'll have one of those thoughts where it's like, hey, like you're going to be processing those deaths for a while. Like, it's not awful. I mean, I wasn't like super close with either of them, because they were just on the side of the family we just didn't see as often. So in a way that has helped a little bit, but also adds a layer of sadness too, because I'm like, I wish I could have connected. And we've been up at Grandpa's house a couple times helping him go through some stuff, and I'm just like there's more of that side of the family that I wish I could have had the opportunity to know more of that history and stuff. And so there's some guilt about that, because there were definitely times in my adult life I could have gone up and seen them and stuff like that. But there were also other things going on behind closed doors that I didn't know about when I was younger, and that's reasons why we weren't there all the time and whatnot. So there's that, and then just on top of like dealing with like, hey, you got to figure out your money situation, and hey, you got to you need to work on those podcast highlights, or you need to do that. And then it's like I come home from work and like I've just been so tired, and I downloaded this sleeping app that kind of measures your sleep cycles and stuff.
Is it? I realized you farting at night.
I hope so. It records me snoring. I should probably listen to those and see if I'm farting.
I've seen those.
And I realized like, oh, I'm not sleeping like hardly at all. Like I'm asleep, but I'm not ever getting good sleep. Yeah. So I've had to like put my foot down with the cats in the bedroom, and like if they wake me up once, they're going in the other room. Because what was happening is it's like. It wouldn't even be like they make like a big noise, but like Missy would start like scratching on the floor, or Samson would go wow or something, and it'd wake me up. But then I kind of drift off, and then they do it again. So I was never getting deep sleep. So I'm feeling a little bit better and more caught up now that I'm actually like tracking my sleep a little bit more and being like, okay,
that's good.
Yeah.
I just hope all your recordings are like you snoring and going like fucking Samson.
Probably.
Shut the fuck up.
God, so he was in there last night, and it's rare for him to make it all the way through the night. Like sometimes we kick him out before we even start going to sleep, because like he's so boy. Dumb. He's so dumb. He's kind like he wants nothing more than to just like lay next to Jenna
Yeah.
But you have to pick him up, put him on the bed, because he's so dumb. He'll just like stand at the bed and just. So you pick him up, put him up there, and then he'll kind of like do his thing. He'll make some biscuits and he'll lay down, and then he'll just like randomly get up and he's like, ah! He'll just run, and then that's it. And then I'm like, okay, he's done. He's done. That's it. But last night, like, he actually made it all the way through, and like I kind of stirred a little bit around 2 because you wake up several times throughout the night sometimes. Yeah. I looked over and Jenna was a little bit awake, and she was like, look, he's still here. Like, he's been fine the whole time. And then one of us moved, and then he was like, ah! And I'm like, done. But yeah, those cats.
Mine are horrible. Like, I get waking up, like, mine don't yowl. Yeah. Some of them do sometimes, or like they like, well, if I'm in a different room sleeping, they'll cannonball the door handle. They're just until they open the door. And like sometimes I take edibles before I go to bed, and so when that happens, sometimes like, oh yeah, you're waking up being,
you're already disoriented because you're waking up from sleep, but you're also like.
Door just slams and my cats come running in.
Yeah.
I've had some other times where they wake me up like a deep sleep just because one's chasing the other and they like land on me and like claw me, and
right.
That's one of the worst. Like I don't wake up mad, but that is what I do. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cats.
I'm gonna take one more of these and we can wrap it up.
Don't think we talked about my future.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
Hey,
sorry.
Let's take one of these. Nope.
Yeah. Ooh, wiener slam.
Yep. They are progressively getting worse as we go, and that's weird. It's weird to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so my future. I'm gonna eventually travel again. There's some big projects that I'm going to be put on coming up. Work's going really well. Like, I already got a raise and stuff. And but now I'm getting more responsibilities, which is good. That's what I want. I'm moving up. After 5 years, I'm fine. Not that I didn't move up and they're in the 5 years, but like, okay, 5 years. Now I can kind of go wherever I want. Like, if I wanted to.
Yeah, you get a little bit more say.
Yeah, and so I can go, if I don't want to work here anymore, I can go to my another job or something like that. So I haven't pulled that card, but but no, they're like, okay, 5 years, like, it's time for more responsibilities and stuff like that. So yeah. Doing that. Just gonna travel a lot more.
That's good.
Yep, I'm gonna start being on Facebook so much. I want to get to the point where I can still have it downloaded and have Instagram and stuff. Yeah, but not like go. Maybe I don't hit them at all.
You're in control of like when you want to get on, and not just pulling it out.
Eventually, the goal is to get to that point, and
that's good.
Yeah. Getting new furniture, getting my house.
Nice.
That was a big thing, because my house was just so dirty because I kept. So I'm starting getting new furniture. I'm clearing out stuff. Cleaning and making hard choices on like throwing stuff away, giving stuff to Goodwill and stuff like that. So but
I've read that that's pretty much like the first step in any kind of like organizing or like reassessing and stuff is like you got to clean, like because it helps you not only clear out like the actual clutter in here, but it helps like kind of clear your mind a little bit too and stuff like that, and gives you a space to be more productive and actually make better decisions. So
and I'm like
we've been trying to do the same.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I've got curtains for the first time ever. It's
not
just blankets pinned up. I'm gonna have matching furniture. So this is gonna go away, and I'm gonna actually have a table where the wood matches the wood in my entertainment center.
Nice.
And my desk. So that's all gonna be new. That'll be moved out eventually too. So I'm gonna actually have matching sets. I'm really just super pumped. I bought a new vacuum too.
Yeah. Nice.
So just becoming more of an adult as I find myself.
Yeah.
soul searching.
Sometimes it's those little things.
Yep. So that's what
The little Roomba we got.
yeah.
It's been so good.
Yeah. So future.
It doesn't clean as good as like a real heavy duty vacuum.
Mm-hmm. Hey, he
but it
helps.
doesn't clean any worse than the vacuum that I had.
Yeah. So that's the futures. Hopefully, I'm probably making strides and figuring out who I am and being successful while I'm doing that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, future.
One little step at a time.
Yep. All right. How we zip this up?
Zip.
Hey, Ma, grab my zipper.
Hey, Mom, can you zip me up?
Outro. I just have the outro.
That's what I wrote too. I don't know what our outro is.
Outro. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us on this episode. Our first episode back. We're excited to be back. I know this is kind of a heavy episode, but
It was. I didn't look at the cameras.
We
at
did.
some point. I think we just stared into each other.
Yeah. We might have to do something about our setup to where we're not just looking at each other so we can look at you. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, we're still learning this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did not.
Yeah. Honestly, I know the first season was a little bit rough and something, so we've made some strides and stuff, but I think this season's also going to be rough because we're going to be trying new other things.
Yep.
So, just join us for the ride and see where we go because we don't know where we're going.
Oh, yeah.
We're just out here hanging
we
out.
don't get enough followers to really have to do something, so we're trying a bunch
At least
of
there's
different
no
things.
expectations.
Yeah, there's no expectations. We do appreciate the followers we do have. We really love you guys. We're doing this more for ourselves than for you, but we still love you, and we're happy that you support us and us doing these things for ourselves.
We love you.
Boners. All right, so outro. I'm Guy Penis. And this is Peeves, Penins, and Pie.
Oh.
I'm Guy Fee Pee Pee.
That's a good one. That's I'm Peter Paulson.
My name's B.B. Peason.
Big Peenan. Nick Peenan.
Nick Peenan. Nick Bannon. Nico Bannon.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah. Okay.
We're rolling out.
All right. Yeah. See you guys next time.
Bye. Ooh.
Yeah. I was like, what do we do for the outro? I don't remember what we did during the first season.
That.
Oh, you back there. Oh, have I been? Oh, I've been on a blank. Or is that a pillow?